It's no secret that social media has taken the world by storm. Individuals and business owners all over the world are trying to tap into the world of social media and how to grow a following. Craig, welcome to the Heavy Chef Hot Seat. You're no stranger to the Heavy Chef community, of course, but today we're here to speak about Instagram. Now, people have hopped onto the Instagram wagon, and for somebody who's new to the world of social media, what is Instagram?
Instagram is at its core a photo sharing social network. So it's a place where people can take and post photos and have their friends and followers kind of engage with those photos. That's where it started. It was simply what's going on around you. The key is in the name. It's Instagram, so it's supposed to be instant. It's supposed to be you're capturing the moments instantaneously as they happen around you, and you're sharing them. And that's where it started. Obviously, if you're on Instagram now, you'll know that people don't really share instant moments. They take the most amazing photos, they spend weeks editing them, and then they post them onto the network. But at its core, it's a photo sharing network, and they've built some cool services around that now. So they've got videos with your stories and all sorts of stuff. But Instagram hasn't really changed much over the years. It's still about sharing cool pictures and having people engage with it.
When it comes to Instagram, what are some of the common mistakes that people make?
The most common mistake that people make on Instagram is they forget that it's almost exclusively a platform for inspiration. It isn't really great at things beyond inspiring people. And so as a business, I would encourage people to kind of take stock of that and recognize that it isn't a multi-purpose channel. It's pretty much a singular purpose channel, and that is inspire your audiences. There's a lot of other social networks and a lot of other ways of advertising and marketing your products and doing direct sales and AdWords and all this kind of stuff. Like all those other social networks and websites, and there's all these other opportunities to actually sell products. Instagram, I don't believe, is a direct sales opportunity right now, unless they change something. But for the most part, it's about inspiring your customers. It's about showing them what can be done with your products and making them fall in love with the products and fall in love with wanting to own that product or wanting to use it or be in that place or whatever it is. But it's inspiration first, and a lot of people forget that. They think that it's just a place where you post photos of your products and something magic happens, and it doesn't.
Yeah, so there has to be kind of like a formula that one follows when trying to get their business or their product out. So is there a secret formula to the perfect Instagram post?
There isn't, and I say that because quite regularly I'll come across businesses who are doing something different with Instagram that break what I would have perceived as the formula, except that it works really well. And so there definitely isn't one secret formula. Like as we spoke about now, there are things that you should avoid doing. I guess if I look at the top piece of advice that I tend to give businesses is, number one is to try and be something. Try and define your presence on Instagram around a single promise. So if someone had to describe your Instagram account without using the username, they would say they're the what guys, right? They're the guys who do and then complete the sentence type of thing, right? That singular promise makes it really easy for people to make an immediate decision of, do I want this content or do I not want this content? But if you try be all things to all people and you just jump all over the place, if I don't know what I'm going to get from your page, I'm out. My time is scarce. It's really precious. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram pages. I just, people scroll quickly, and they follow you for a reason. And if you can't articulate that reason, then there's no reason for someone to follow you, right? So that for me is one of the key elements. If there were a formula, is to be the something account. Make that promise. Focus on being inspirational. Focus on telling the kinds of stories that your consumers want. And then I guess the third element is specifically for a business. It's not about you. It's about your consumer. It's about your customer. And again, as much as I make that a rule, there are certain businesses out there who have the luxury of talking about themselves and succeeding, but for the most part, like unless you're very, very special, for the most part, your content should talk about the consumer, and it should be what the consumer wants, not what you want. Probably the best example I've ever given of the difference between what you want to talk about versus what a consumer wants to hear is in the hospitality industry. So you get these hotels, and a hotel goes, you know, if they do a Google search and they go, the top 10 reasons why someone chooses a hotel, and those reasons are tasty buffet, friendly staff, fluffy pillows, whatever it is. And so they start creating that content. So then they put a photo of their smiling receptionist and a fluffy pillow and the breakfast buffet, because they think that's what a hotel should show. And the problem is that every hotel has that. Like, there's no differentiation there whatsoever. Whereas if they go back to Google and instead of searching for why do people choose hotels, they search for why do people travel. Now, if you search for why do people travel, it's completely different. It's to expand your horizons, to meet new people, to learn new things, to visit bucket list places and so on and so forth. It's a lot deeper. There's a lot more meaningful content that you can create around why do people travel. And if you can inspire people to travel to a specific area, you'll win their business at your hotel. They'll stay at your hotel because you were the one that introduced them to this place and inspired them to go. So the natural side effect would be they'll book at your hotel. But if you share photos of clean nightstands and breakfast, the same as every other hotel out there, well, that you're not inspiring me to travel, and you're unlikely to differentiate.
I love that. So inspiration is definitely at the forefront.
Inspiration is at the key of everything. That's what I fundamentally believe, that Instagram is an inspiration platform first and foremost. Now,
we've broken down the image, the caption. I want to go to the hashtags. How important are hashtags for businesses?
I think they're important. As much as I don't like to say that, they are important. And if you have insights available on your account where you can start to see where your traffic comes from and so on and so forth, you realize that hashtags do drive traffic. They do bring people to your page.
Okay.
So, which is important, because when you post a photo, generally it'll only go to the people who have already chosen you to follow you. And if you're looking to grow your account, you're trying to reach new audiences. And posting high quality photos to your existing followers doesn't always grow your account. It makes your existing followers happier, but doesn't reach new people. Hashtags do reach new people. So I'm not a big fan of posting the 20 top hashtags in the world. If you're going to use hashtags, be selective. Choose hashtags that meet the criteria of being big enough that they'll be of value, that it's a big enough audience you're attracting, but not so big that they're polluted and they're useless. It has to be relevant to what you're posting. It has to bring in the right kinds of people, the right kinds of audience that you're trying to attract. So take your time and do your research and find hashtags that will serve you, that will bring in the right audience, and then use them. And you'll realize in your insights page, you'll see that the number of views and the number of people that are viewing your content from hashtags that are non-followers will start to grow, which is great.
Now, I want to touch on, buying followers, because it's starting to become a thing.
No, don't do it.
What are the pros and cons to that?
Well, there's no pros. So let's just talk about the cons.
What are the cons?
The cons are that those people, or if they're people, might not be people. Firstly,
might be robots.
They might be bots, right? And the number of followers on your account is relatively insignificant. It really doesn't matter. What matters is engagement.
Okay.
What matters are, do you have the right people there, and are they actively engaging with your content? And you'll see it immediately. You'll see accounts that have 500,000 followers and then they get a couple hundred likes. And you realize that there's no one there. Right, these guys have created this massive echo chamber, and that they're posting content to, but no one's listening. No, like everyone's left the room, and it's a problem. Whereas I'd much rather have a smaller follower number, but a much more engaged audience, because then at least I know that if it's a business, that they're potential customers or they're current customers who enjoy my content, and grow it properly. But buying followers is dumb. Like there's no benefit to it. People have done it, and people do it to boost their audience size, the perception that you go, oh wow, this person has a lot of followers. But any marketer worth their salt immediately looks beyond the number of followers and goes, what's their engagement like? And if the engagement rates don't match the number of followers, then it's immediate. If you're an influencer, you immediately discard it. You're like, this person's bought their followers. So
don't do it.
Don't do it. No, there are enough ways to earn, to grow your audience organically and earn followers and grow it properly. And there's fun in that. Right, and there's value in that. If you want 1 million followers, go buy 1 million followers. But no one's going to care. Like, you're just wasting your money.
So how can we go about growing our audience?
I guess the starting point is to be consistently good at delivering on your promise.
Okay.
Right. What is the promise? What is that transactional thing? You follow me if I do this, and as long as you consistently deliver on the promise and you keep that existing audience happy, and you have high engagement rates, then your account will grow. That'll promote your account to other people. Generally though, if you want to grow your account somewhat aggressively, it is less to do with what's on your account and has to do with, are other people talking about your account? So if you go back, it's like old school PR, right? Other people have to be talking about you. Other people have to be driving traffic back to your page. So are your followers sharing your content and going, whoa, check out this post from so on and so forth? Are people talking about you in their stories? Are you giving people opportunities to talk about you and to kind of link back to you and to be mentioning your account a lot of the time? And if you're creating content that people want to share, or you're creating opportunities for other people to talk about you, then when they talk about you, they'll hopefully be tagging your account and using your @username. And that drives people to go check you out. Oh, that's interesting. I'll go check out that account. And then when people come and check it out, do they see something that's worth following? And then if they see something that's worth following, then they'll follow. And then that's how that's it. But you've got to grow your account. From a tactics point of view, there are some cool ways to do that, right? And it's a very long list, but I'll talk about some of the basics.
Okay.
You can have people do takeovers. So if you find a famous person or someone who has legitimately a lot of Instagram followers, if you're able to engage with them and get them to either be creating content specifically for your page or to do a takeover of your page where they're like, hi, I'm Craig and I'm taking over the V&A waterfront page today, or whatever it is. The idea is that that person will then be talking about your account to their followers and saying to their followers, hey guys, if you want to see this takeover, if you want to see the content I created, go check out this page. And then they are actively promoting people to come and follow your page. And that's phenomenal, right? Now you may have to pay for that service, or you may not. It depends on who you are or whatever. But getting a famous person with a large audience to do a takeover on your page is a great way. Competitions always work. They always drive interest and drive traffic. One of the downsides of running competitions is that people are there to win. They're not necessarily there for the original promise of your content. And so once the competition's over, do they become a dead audience? So there's a downside, but competitions will drive a lot of traffic. But essentially anything that you can do to get other people talking about your page on their accounts is gold.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Craig, you grew 275,000 followers in the space of 5 years.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Very slowly. It's very slow. Ironically, it's a very slow growth rate, right? I didn't have any budget, and it wasn't my full-time job or anything like that. But the promise that I made was around my page was I would post a photo every day.
Okay.
And so I started over 5 years ago, and I've done well over 2,000 days in a row that never missed a day. Whoa. I post a photo every single day without fail. And so it's that when we talk about what promise do you make, my promise is you'll receive a beautiful photo of South Africa in your Instagram stream every single day without fail. That's my promise. Very simple promise. If you want a photo of South Africa every single day, then you follow. If you don't follow. It's fine. But I'm not trying to be all things to all people. I'm just making a simple promise, and if that fits you. But I honored that. Like every single day I go without fail. And so that compound interest effect of doing the right, small correct thing every day over a long enough period of time means that the account has now starts to reach a critical mass. People start to see the @South Africa account as the official South Africa Instagram account, and that gives it a lot of credibility. Because I've been so consistent through the years and I've never broken that promise, people tag the account a lot. People just see @South Africa as @South Africa is South Africa's Instagram account as far as everyone is concerned. And so I get tagged in probably 250 photos a day, which is a lot. But every tourist, all the tourists, everyone who's taking photos every single day in South Africa, they'll tag @South Africa, which itself is marketing, because I've got other people talking about my page, or not necessarily talking about it, but referencing my page, tagging me, linking back into the @South Africa account every single day. And it's that kind of ecosystem now that drives my growth. People just, there are enough people constantly tagging my account every day.
Amazing.
That drives enough traffic that I grow.
That's incredible.
Thanks.
Craig, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We've learned a thing or two, definitely.
That's good.
Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Well, there you have it. You heard it here first on the Heavy Chef Hot Seat. For more of our learning experiences and future events, simply hop onto www.heavychef.com.